Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's prep sessions. So I think I will just hand on to Elena. So she will bring us give a draft about the workshop number 2, and then we would like to invite all the advisors to provide some advice and suggestions. Elena, please.
Thank you so much for handing over to me. So I will just roughly share the slides that we have done up so far and do a brief presentation, as well as maybe show the agenda of what we are going to cover. Okay, so let me figure out how to share screen a bit. Not sure if you can see my screen.
Looks good.
Okay, so for our broadcasting and streaming, this is our rough presentation for workshop 2, and we are hoping to get some feedback before the actual session next week. Sorry, I think my comm is lagging. Okay, so first I'll be giving a brief introduction on individual streaming. Before Henry will be facilitating the breakout rooms, and then Hunter will be talking about how to build a broadcasting team. Gavin will then be talking about how collaborating in broadcasting, as well as Benjamin will cover the breakout scenarios afterwards, and then we will have a short Q&A session. So let me first cover introduction to streaming. So this is the rough contents that I'll go through. So it's basically the basics of streaming, which comes from platform, software, hardware, asset creation, what to stream, audience and content, and how to maintain and grow your stream. So actually there are multiple gaming platforms that are popular right now, such as Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube Gaming Live. However, if you actually look at the statistics, a large percentage of the hours that are spent on watching gaming streaming is actually Twitch, which is where there are 5,000 million hours spent in a year on watching Twitch. Whereas in comparison to Facebook Gaming and YouTube Gaming Live, there's actually a less percentage of people that watch it. However, this is also, this is actually just for starting to streaming, you might actually want to consider which platform is the best for your own game and which platform you are the most comfortable with. So many people definitely go with Twitch because a lot of people watch on that platform. However, certain mobile games would actually be more popular on Facebook.
I don't mean to cut you off here, but are you going to go through the entire presentation for your group in this 1 hour, or are you just highlighting the main points?
I can actually just highlight the main points, I guess, because because I'm not too sure what the rest of my group are doing. Yeah, so I just roughly
Elena,
yeah,
on that first slide, are you going to talk about that? I assume you just gave us the quick version of it.
Yes.
And on this slide, I assume you're going to talk and kind of go through some of the stuff, or is this just you are?
This is what I'll be going through for a 10-minute presentation.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll just make it sure.
Okay, sure. Yes. And then so maybe the rest want to talk about what they are going through. Because I don't do you, as in, is there any feedback on this?
I think it's a really good outline that I see here on this first slide. I wonder, so I think, what I think is really helpful for students to hear are maybe case studies, or examples of things that you've done or even just seeing something. I think in the last workshop, it was recommended that we have a tour of some kind of maybe a broadcasting studio, and what does the hardware look like? What are the necessary requirements to host a broadcasting studio, and what are just having that kind of firsthand look is really, I think, important. So if that can be incorporated somehow in this really basic framework that you've set up, I think that would be really valuable to everyone in the group.
Okay, sure. So a case study, a precedent study type of thing. Okay.
Yeah, and I know you guys are starting with a presentation from an advisor, right? From the Hawaii advisor?
No, is it?
Sorry? Studying with a presentation from an advisor? I think that's on actually. I'm not sure if there's a later part or not. I think,
Okay.
but I don't think Henry is going to be the MC for the event. Actually, the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be kind of like starting us off on the hour and a half doing opening statements. I'll basically be conducting the flow of the entire hour and a half, but I'm not a speaker. I'm one of the students from Hawaii.
Okay,
That's
great.
great.
Because I know
Yeah.
as part of your planning was potential of having the UHM, maybe I think it was the advisor who's going to talk a little bit about broadcasting at UHM and kind of what he does. But I don't know if that's still in your plans.
We didn't have a broadcaster speaker planned for UHM, but if you want like real life examples, I'm actually one of the producers slash broadcasters for my university, so I can try pull that up if possible.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think.
go ahead, Jackie. I was just going to
No,
back you up.
I think you're the perfect person. I mean, you're the person running the studio, right? And hosting the events there. Is that correct? I think it'll be just really great to hear from you. Like, what is your experience? What are the real life examples that you're having at your university?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I can give my 2 cents during the that part. So I guess what Elena didn't like fully mention yet because we didn't get through our entire slides is we kind of split our content up into 2 different parts. So the first part, as you can see, is kind of like what it means for an individual to stream. Like if somebody were to just like boot up their computer and start streaming on their own Twitch channel or their own YouTube channel or whatever, what does it mean to do that? Like how do you get started on stuff like that? Afterwards, we get people into breakout rooms to start getting to know your group because we're going to do a breakout scenario later on. We'll leave you guys with some questions, food for thought while you guys are meeting with your group of people. We're going to congregate back after, and that's when we start talking about what it means to produce and broadcast as a company or as an organization or as a club, like what all those intricate parts mean. We go a little bit more in depth into that, and then we have those breakout scenarios that we're talking about. So this is actually like 2 different parts that's happening within the whole thing.
Yeah. Sorry, can I add on? UBC has, if you see on point 4 on the slide there, we have Gavin Jewin. He's the broadcast member or an executive of the UBC Esports Association, and we've invited him to speak about broadcasting in general. So that would be later on in the workshop. So yeah.
And Henry, for that section where it's collaborating and broadcasting, will you guys be able to give, or was part of the presentation, not necessarily a step-by-step, but a pretty well thought out, here's how a broadcast is pulled off. Here's what you need, which I know was part of the slides Elena was going through too. Will that be something you guys can actually spell out? If you want to do a broadcast, here's what you need.
I think that would be under number 3, building a broadcasting team. So that would probably outline the components of what you would need to broadcast.
Yeah, and Hunter is one of my student employees that actually does broadcast for me every week. So Hunter can totally talk about what we do here, how we do a broadcast completely remote. Nobody's actually on campus for our broadcast. It's all completely remote. And kind of the software we use and what technology or hardware you need for that. So yeah, I just want to make sure that's part of it because I think that's kind of what Jackie's getting to. We want some kind of cool, concrete example. And there's tons of them. We do it. Our version of broadcasting is totally different than maybe Utah's would be because I kind of talked to them a lot when we were building ours out. And theirs is quite a bit different than ours using different technology. We use Discord for most of our communications and pulling in the voices for the casters where they use different software. So it's interesting that there's a lot of different options for people out there, depending on what they're familiar with and they're like. All right, go ahead, Elena or Henry. I'm sorry, we keep derailing you.
No, it's okay. I think this is really the table of contents is basically what we wanted to cover for the presentation, and what Henry said was just how the presentation is divided into two parts, where it's like where we look at individual streaming and it expands out towards broadcasting, and which like are applicable to the viewers of the workshop in like different ways. Because the first was for students to know how they can stream alone, and the second is for how they can stream in the context of their association, their club. Yeah, so I think your feedback was very valuable. We will actually look into, putting in more case studies and things as well and more scenarios into our presentation.
And
Yeah.
guys, one more thing to mention that obviously Hunter can talk about this a lot since this is his section. So building a broadcasting team can be two different things. We've been talking about the technology and the hardware needed. Well, building a team, then we're talking Henry being a producer, having student volunteers that are your casters, your technical director who's running OBS or OBS, whatever software you're using. So you got two different aspects there. The actual team that's the people that are running the broadcast, and all the hardware and software and how that's going to go.
That's a really good point, Chase. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say which Hunter can totally speak to both sides of that for sure.
100%. And hello all, hello Jason. I probably should have jumped in a little earlier, but for my section, it's actually slides towards the end that might be just on me for not communicating. We might just need to organize some of the slides a little better to fit the table of contents. But the last, I think it's like slides 17 through 19, just a couple have 3. They more focus on sort of a case study, kind of on what we do specifically at UW Esports. Break down kind of the personnel side of what a broadcasting team looks like: producer, technical director, shoutcaster, observer, moderator, kind of, and then like just a brief visual examples of what our streams look like and what each member kind of takes care of. I can definitely work in more of what software and kind of the technical aspects of the broadcast, like OBS, how we use Parsec, how we operate remotely, how we do all this stuff. I just don't want to step on any toes of any of the other members. If that goes into my section, totally happy to work on that and incorporate that. But I do have a section of like a more specific case study of how we run things from a personnel point of view.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, here,
Oh, sorry.
please go ahead, Ivan.
I was gonna say, so for Gavin, he outlined, you guys can see in the Discord in the broadcasting channel, Navin actually sent what Gavin was going to be talking about. So it's more about like sponsorships and stuff like that. So I don't think we'll really be talking about the components of or the technical aspects of this. So I don't think you will be stepping on any toes from us at least.
Right on. Sounds good.
So
Yeah.
For the
Go ahead.
breakout rooms, what was the plan and what is the timing breakdown? It sounds like there's going to be a lot covered. And so I just, learning from our first workshop, I just want to give us some time to breathe and make sure that we are all having the conversations that we're seeking to have, and like giving people time to work together. So, and also giving you the time that you need to present the material. So just curious of like what the breakout rooms will be and what the breakdown in time will be.
We do have an agenda. Yeah, right there.
Yes, hi. Can you see my screen? Okay, so this is our current breakdown. So it will be about 5 minutes for Henry to give an opening, then maybe a 15-minute presentation. Then we'll have a 10-minute for introduction breakout rooms, where this is all about like for them to discuss their experiences on individual streaming, and we set it to about a group of 4 attendees and 1 facilitator. Then we have 7.5 minutes of about like event broadcasting. So it's like the components of a broadcasting team, how to manage, specifically about the people, I guess. And then afterwards, it's like collaboration with other stakeholders. So this is the second presentation with Gavin as the guest speaker. And then we will have our 30 minutes to discuss a breakout scenario. So this is like where we will give them 3 different scenarios, and they will actually talk about, they can choose a scenario, and then they can think about how they would act and how they would solve the problem in that scenario. So that's for 30 minutes for them to discuss. 10 minutes is for question and answers, and maybe if they have no questions, we will discuss the breakout scenarios that we talked about, and then we will have a 5-minute closing. So yeah, this is our current agenda.
Jackie, do you think 30 minutes is too long of a breakout time?
How many people are in each group? And I forgot what it was like last time, but if there's too many people in a group, you'll need more time to talk.
In the last workshop, like there are around 6 students in one breakout room, and then like the breakout room session is also around 30. I think it's like 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So if they are discussing about a scenarios, 30 minutes would be quite good. Would be a good timing, but I'm not really sure. Like for students, like in the breakout room, do they really like use the whole 30 minutes or 25 minutes to discuss about the scenario, or they have time left?
My personal experience was that in workshop 1, when we had a breakout scenario, we didn't really finish discussing by 30 minutes. Actually, we did use up the entire period of time. So I guess this is why we felt like 30 minutes was a reasonable amount of time for workshop 2.
I think that we have to be cognizant of the time management here, because the workshop's only 2 hours. So I think at the student angle, maybe at the start we brief them that time is short, and that the breakout sessions have to be very concise, and so we don't waste time in like fruitless discussions and whatnot.
I think something that should be mentioned here is, because we have a lot of us working on workshop 2 here in terms of the student side, is what we intended to do was have one of each of us as students facilitating each breakout room. So then there would be the amount of students plus one facilitator in every room to make sure that the conversation is moving like fluidly, and that everybody gets their thoughts out within a half hour. Because obviously for breakout situations, for breakout scenarios, you could go on and on about it, but the part of the challenge is having that limited time restriction. And if I recall from workshop 1, we did have 25 minutes, and it felt a little short, but I think 30 should be good with facilitators as well.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds good.
That sounds great.
The time breakdown looks pretty well done. So good job on doing that.
Yeah. So stay on this page for a second. Hunter, do you need more than 7.5 minutes? I don't think you do.
I was also going to ask that, because the sponsorship can definitely be shortened, because you guys have a lot more content on that side, I feel like.
Yeah, because if he's going to be talking about the manpower, bad choice of words, the people that we need to run a broadcast, and also the technology that we use. Hunter, do you think you need more than 7.5 minutes?
It might be helpful, yeah, doing both aspects. That's a very good point, Jason. I appreciate that. If we could like 10 minutes, I think I can try to keep it brief and get it down into that.
10 minutes, I think we could do that, yeah, because sponsorships, it's a relatively small point compared to like the components of a broadcast team. So I think it's worth it to extend that.
Oh, as in sponsorship, as in this one? Like the second part?
Yeah, we can.
I was thinking I'll shorten my part actually, because like I don't think it needs to be 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
we can also do that.
Okay. So
that also works.
10 minutes, or do you want 12.5 minutes? Like 12 minutes.
Okay. Hunter, do you want 10 minutes or 12 minutes?
I think 10 minutes should be fine.
Okay, then I'll change the agenda.
Yep, that works.
Thank you.
And for the case studies, how many, I saw, was it Javi Benjamin? How many case studies do you guys have?
We have like 3 breakout scenarios. Yeah, sorry, I am sick, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we have 3 breakout scenarios that the students can choose from, discussing the breakout rooms. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so if we break them into 3 breakout rooms, plus the advisors will probably be in a different one, I would think, of their own. Jackie, how many students would that be in each of those breakout rooms if we only have 3?
We actually said, if you scroll to the top, we designated 4 people and 1 facilitator per breakout room. So that's how we're planning to do that. It was like, I think it was similar to workshop 1 as well. They had around that many people for each breakout room, and I think it worked pretty well.
Yes, for the workshop 1 planning, it was like 4 students and then 1 facilitator. However, like we don't have like that many students like participate in the workshop number 1. So that's why like we end up have around 6 students in 1 room.
I think around like 4 to 6 people. They're all like okay around that number. So I think it should be fine.
Okay, sounds good.
And if they're only choosing one thing to like answer out of like 3 scenarios, and if they do happen to like finish 1 scenario, they can move on to the next one, especially with the facilitators there. They can help out with that.
Yeah, I love the idea of having facilitators with it. That's a great idea, guys. I think it'll go a lot better.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was wondering like if the guest speaker will stay like during the breakout room scenarios, or like he will be left like after his presentation.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Will the like guest speakers stay for the breakout room scenarios? Because I saw that like the Q&A session is after the scenarios, just like the workshop number 1. We think that like it would be great if we can have a Q&A session after the guest speaker's presentation.
I think we did talk about like where to place the question and answers.
Yeah,
before.
we were discussing that, but we were thinking like maybe they might want to discuss with their friends in the breakout scenario before they think of any questions they might have. So I guess that was our original logic. I'm not sure if Gavin can stay until then. If he cannot, then maybe we can sort the agenda.
Yeah. Well, we can speak to Gavin later and see where he is at right now, and if he can stay.
So, I'm sorry, Jackie. So in the presentation, sounds like you guys have quite a bit of slides. If hunters are like 17 through 19 or something. So it sounds like you guys have a good amount of slides. So that'll be good. I just wanted to make sure you had a good amount, but sounds like you guys got that covered. And is somebody, I'm sorry, Jackie, I keep doing that. Is one person or in charge of putting all the slides together before the presentation?
We're working on the same set of slides already, so.
Oh, okay, great. So you're all just working on one master slide. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. Go ahead, Jackie, sorry.
No, it's fine. Anya, do you need the slides by a certain time, or is there any like deadline that they need to know about?
Yes, about the deadline is like, it would be great if I can have like the finalized slide 1 day before the workshop, so that I can like if you need me to share the screen, that I can help, or like I can just keep it in record and then share it after the workshop. Okay. So
sure. I'll send you the finalized slides 1 day before the workshop actually starts. And I think it'd be useful if you could help to share screen as well on the day itself.
Okay, yeah. So student, do you have any questions or any parts that you wanted to discuss? Or
actually,
like,
Anya, I was going to ask you, are there any other technical arrangements that you need to know about other than the breakouts, or anything with the technology that we need to run the session with?
Actually no, because Elena has already told me that like the breakout room session will be like randomly assigned a student, but just to make sure that one student host facilitator will be there, right? Are we keeping the same plan?
Yep, we are.
Yeah, so I think we are all good. Yeah.
Okay,
I
sounds
already
good.
know the time, yeah. So the technique part is all good.
Then I just wanted to, I see that Professor Yupei Zhao is here from Zhejiang University. I just wanted to offer you a chance, if you had any words of advice to the students, or if you just wanted to introduce yourself, it'd be great to hear from you.
Hi everyone. Actually, I'm trying to observing your discussion, and I don't know how to jump in, because I probably misunderstand this session, and I realized that is a pre-session, not the exactly one.
Yes.
So and actually these days, I work with my best students because my major research on esports industry and culture in China. And my recent research project focused on Chinese esports streamers. But the difficulties so far for us that we have faced is how to define esports streamers, because there are so many overlap between the esports streamers and the gaming streamers. And so far, these two groups of people have been identified or self-identified as different social positions, social identities, and even has been worked on the different cultural norms in China. So yeah, that's my very basic question, but I would like to invite you guys to briefing your understanding before you giving the session, because that is really important to get a general idea which groups of people that you are talking about. And also, at the very beginning of our project, we try to identify the different types of the esports streamers, and so far we found there are 3 types of it, but there's still, the complexity to clarify all of this. That's also far. I will follow up.
Thank you, Professor Zhao. And I'm sure that streamers in China operate so differently than anywhere else in the world. And so it'd be really interesting, and maybe in a future session, to hear more about how streaming is operated in China and the kind of technology that's used. And I'm always so impressed about the numbers, the pure numbers of people watching in China. So it's just really interesting. So I hope that we get a chance to hear about that in the future. It would be great to hear if your students are enjoying the sessions, and I hope that the team
Yes, they do.
University is enjoying it. So yes, glad to have you here. I don't know if Osvaldo or anyone else, any of the other advisors had anything else that they'd like to add. Carlos?
I just want to thank, well, sorry, go ahead, please.
I know it's very brief. I just want to say the organization of the presentation looks great, and I agree with the comments that others have made. So just to congratulate the students.
Yeah, thank you, Osvaldo. Carlos?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much to advisors to participate on this workshop. I think that is very valuable to the students to have their input just to get a better workshop. I just want to ask the students a few things, because well, instead of the content of all the information for the workshop, I just want to know how you feel about working in this way, how you feel on working with students from another universities, how you feel about this design of the workshop. Did you like it? Did you not like it, or what is your feeling on this design of workshops?
Yeah, has it been super challenging working with students from other schools, or no, it's been great?
Yeah, totally, because yeah, actually there's a challenge on the time zone, because as you know, well, in Chile there's right now 11:30 p.m. Right here in Mexico is 8:30 p.m. and if well, on the other side of the world it's like 9:30 a.m. So I think it's a really challenge. So I just want to know how you really feel with this. Or did you like it? You don't like it? Only point of view, it's okay.
And it's okay to be honest. We want honesty.
Yes, please. Yes.
Because we're trying something different this time.
Please. Yeah,
I think it was
please.
okay, because the pros are that we get to talk to people with like different experiences and different universities, of course. But the downside is like the time zone difference. It makes it harder to really collaborate. Say, for example, we've broken it down, but like for our segment, it's like only like UBC students really working on it, and for the breakout scenarios, it's only Chile working on it. So there's like no like collaboration in that sense, but it's more so collaboration, like starting the like creating the agenda and everything, so that people know what they're working on. So,
Yeah.
But I that's just like naturally what comes with like different time zones. I guess it's harder to like find like a good schedule to like meet up and or talk about things. So there's that challenge as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd still say it was a good experience, like especially because we have people more specialized in different areas, so then they can speak more about that topic.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it will.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yeah.
I think that it has been a very good experience overall, because I personally didn't know very much about this world, the esport world, and I think I got a little bit of experience with working with my fellow students, because they have obviously we have cultural differences. So I think it's been a very good experience.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you very much. Anyone final comments?
I can just add on to what was been said. I also completely agree. I love so much meeting different students and different people from different cultures, different regions around the world. I think it's such a unique and wonderful opportunity that we can all be kind of brought together by gaming and esports. I really enjoy the work that we've done so far. I really like being able to share my experience and what my program has done and kind of bring that to the table while also learning from other people and what they've done. Like even within our own workshop, I have very little experience in like personal streaming, but I'm working with people that that are very knowledgeable on it. And I get to learn so much even when I'm putting together stuff to teach other people. I think it's really cool. I think if there's one thing to kind of work on going forward or to add, I would love to see opportunities for just like community building. If there's like any events or stuff we can plan, like, oh, we're just gonna get together and play video games this day. Hey, everybody come and hang out and chat in Discord this day. We kind of get just to get a chance to interact with the people more on a casual basis. But other than that, I'm having a wonderful time.
I think that you can be responsible for the first activity of that type.
I love it.
If you want, obviously. I think that
we'll do some Jackbox games. We could totally do Jackbox games.
There it is. That's perfect.
That's right.
That would be super fun.
That's perfect.
Actually, well, one of the things of the fellowship, this fellowship for you, made by you. So if you want this type of activities, you are like you have our empowerment just to, in this workshop, for example, just to make a final advice to, hey, this is an activity for all of us. And then I don't know, this is just an idea, but this is the activities that you can do. You do not need our permission to do that type of activities. Okay, so be free of do anything of that. Also, we're going to work on that comment like in the backstage, just to make a better experience for you. So thank you very much for the comments.
Of course, and I appreciate that.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're all ready to go for the workshop next week. Thank you all for your time. I don't want to hold us on the call any longer than we need to, and I want Osvaldo to go to sleep. So I hope that you guys all have a good day. If you have any questions in the meantime, just feel free to reach out to Anya. She's here to support on this workshop, and we'll help you and assist you along the way if there's anything that you need. So don't be afraid to reach out, and we're all on Discord. So hope to stay connected.
Yeah, great job, guys.
Great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye
bye.
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 Bye bye.